Picture this. You're miles from civilization, enjoying the great outdoors when suddenly your truck battery dies. You forgot to turn off your camping fridge and now you're stranded. A smart battery isolator can prevent this nightmare scenario. This handy device acts as a gatekeeper between your truck's starting battery and your auxiliary battery, ensuring you always have enough power to start your engine even after heavy accessory use. Unlike traditional isolators, smart isolators automatically detect voltage changes and connect or disconnect the batteries accordingly. They allow charging of both batteries while the engine is running, but prevent the auxiliary battery from draining the starting battery when the engine is off. This means you can power your camping gear, winches, inverters, and other accessories without worrying about being stranded. Smart battery isolators come in various amperage ratings. Choose one that matches your auxiliary battery's capacity and the power requirements of your accessories. Installing a smart battery isolator is a relatively straightforward process, even for those with limited automotive experience. With the right tools, materials, and a bit of patience, you can enjoy the peace of mind and convenience of a dual battery system in your truck. Before diving into the installation, gather all the necessary tools and materials. Having everything on hand will make the process smoother and prevent unnecessary interruptions. Here's a checklist to get you started. Tools: wire cutters, strippers, crimping tool, heat shrink tubing and heat gun or lighter, wrench set, socket set, screwdrivers, Phillips and flathead. Multimeter optional but recommended. Materials: smart battery isolator, choose the correct amperage for your setup. Battery cables, appropriate gauge for your isolator and battery. Battery terminals if needed. Ring terminals, appropriate size for your battery terminals and isolator connections. Fuses, choose the correct amperage for your wiring. Fuse holder, zip ties or wire loom for neat cable management. Working with electrical systems always requires caution. Follow these safety precautions to prevent accidents and ensure a safe installation. Before starting any work, disconnect the negative terminal from your starting battery. This will prevent accidental short circuits and potential harm. Protect your eyes from flying debris and sparks while working with tools and electrical components. Wearing gloves will protect your hands from sharp edges, heat, and potential electrical shocks. Batteries release explosive gases during charging. Ensure adequate ventilation to prevent the buildup of these gases. Before reconnecting the battery, carefully inspect all connections to ensure they are secure and properly insulated. Loose connections can lead to overheating, damage to electrical components, or even fire. Selecting the right location for your smart battery isolator is crucial for optimal performance and longevity. Consider these factors when choosing an installation spot. Install the isolator as close as possible to both batteries to minimize voltage drop and wiring complexity. Ensure adequate airflow around the isolator to dissipate heat generated during operation. Avoid mounting it in enclosed spaces or near heat sources. Choose a location that protects the isolator from direct exposure to water, dirt, and debris. Engine compartments can be harsh environments, so consider a protective cover if necessary. Install the isolator in a location that allows for easy access for future maintenance or troubleshooting. Once you've found a suitable location, use the provided mounting bracket and hardware to securely mount the isolator. Ensure the mounting surface is clean and free of any obstructions. With the isolator securely mounted, it's time to connect the wiring. Follow these steps carefully, referring to the wiring diagram provided with your specific isolator model. First, connect the isolator to the starting battery. Attach the positive plus cable from the isolator to the positive plus terminal of the starting battery. Don't forget to use a fuse and fuse holder near the battery for protection. Then connect the negative cable from the isolator to a suitable grounding point on the vehicle chassis or the negative battery terminal. Next up, connect the isolator to the auxiliary battery. Connect the positive plus cable from the isolator to the positive plus terminal of the auxiliary battery. Again, use a fuse and fuse holder near the battery for protection. Connect the negative wire cable from the isolator to the negative terminal of the auxiliary battery. For those who need it, you might want to connect the ignition source. Some smart battery isolators require an ignition source to activate. This can be a switch 12V source that turns on and off with the ignition key. Consult the isolator's wiring diagram for specific instructions. Finally, secure and organize the wiring. Once all connections are made, use zip ties or wire loom to secure and organize the wiring. This will prevent chafing, shorts, and ensure a neat and professional-looking installation. Before hitting the road, it's crucial to test the installation and ensure the smart battery isolator is functioning correctly. Follow these steps. First, start the engine of your truck and let it idle for a few minutes. Next, use a multimeter to measure the voltage at the starting battery terminals, auxiliary battery terminals, and isolator output terminals. With the engine running, the voltage at both battery terminals and the isolator output should be around 14 to 14.5 volts, indicating proper charging. Then turn off the engine and observe the voltage readings. The starting battery voltage should remain relatively stable, while the auxiliary battery voltage may drop slightly. If the voltage readings are within the expected range, congratulations. Your smart battery isolator is installed and functioning correctly. If you encounter any discrepancies or issues, refer to the troubleshooting tips in the next section. Even with careful installation, you might encounter some hiccups. Here are a few common issues and potential solutions. If the isolator is not engaging, check the fuse to ensure it's not blown. Verify that the ignition source is receiving power when the ignition is on, and double-check all wiring connections for tightness and proper polarity. If the batteries are not charging, ensure your truck's alternator is functioning correctly and providing sufficient charging voltage. Examine the battery cables for damage, corrosion, or loose connections, and ensure the isolator's ground connection is secure and free of corrosion. If you're experiencing excessive voltage drop, consider using larger gauge battery cables to reduce resistance and, if possible, shorten the distance between the isolator and the batteries to minimize voltage drop. Congratulations on successfully installing your smart battery isolator. You can now enjoy the numerous benefits of a dual battery system in your truck. Reliable starting power means you'll never worry about being stranded with a dead battery again. Your starting battery is always protected and prioritized for engine starting. Extended accessory use allows you to power your camping fridge, lights, winches, inverters, and other accessories without draining your starting battery. Increased battery lifespan is achieved by preventing deep discharges and overcharging, which can extend the lifespan of both batteries. Enhanced safety is provided by a dedicated auxiliary battery for accessories, reducing the load on your starting battery and ensuring reliable power for essential vehicle functions. While installing a smart battery isolator is achievable for DIY enthusiasts, it's essential to acknowledge your limitations. If you're uncomfortable working with electrical systems or encounter difficulties during the installation, don't hesitate to seek professional help. A qualified automotive electrician can ensure a safe and correct installation, giving you peace of mind and optimal performance from your dual battery system. Remember, safety and functionality should always be your top priorities.